Hallo und herzlich willkommen in Berlin. I'm Tim Horn, the president of the Stiftung Planetarium Berlin, and we are thrilled to be bidding with our colleagues in Jena to host the IPS 2024 conference. It would be our great honor to host the entire IPS community here and hope to see you in Berlin and Jena in 2024.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jena in Germany. I am Stefan Harnisch, director of the Zeiss Planetarium Jena. Me and my team here in Jena, as well as our planetary fellows and friends in Berlin, we are truly honored to bidding to host the IPS in 2024 in Germany.
Hi, I'm Anna Green, project director for conference planning. The IPS 2024 conference takes place right in the middle of our celebrations for the centennial of the planetarium. Where better to host a conference than Jena, the city where planetariums were born? Or Berlin, a city with a history so intriguing that we have 3 planetariums and 2 observatories. We would like to invite you to come with us on this video to explore what we have planned for the IPS 2024 conference. We'd like to introduce you to our teams, our cities, and the planetariums that we love and want to share with the entire IPS family. The teams in Berlin and Jena are exceptionally dedicated, talented, and eager. The teams at both sites are very much looking forward to working together to host IPS in 2024. The teams of the Zeiss Planetarium Jena and the sites of the Stiftung Planetarium Berlin are extremely knowledgeable thanks to regularly hosting large special events. In addition, everyone working on the planning committee has previous experience with the planning and hosting of planetarium conferences. You can feel confident that a conference hosted by Berlin and Jena will be of the absolute highest caliber. During the IPS 2024 conference, it is our goal to enable participants to explore new and different ways to work together. There is ample time in the schedule for workshops, paper sessions, networking, and for special interest groups to meet. The theme for IPS 2024 is United Under the Sky. We feel this theme truly sets the tone, not just for the conference, but for the next 100 years of planetaria. We planetarians are united in our common goal of sharing our passion for astronomy with others. It is in sharing our diversity that planetariums and planetarians are able to shine. United Under the Sky also has another meaning for us here in Berlin and Germany as well. 2024 will also be the 35th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. For 40 years, Germany was a divided country. It did not matter, though, if you were in the East or the West. The beautiful sky was still something that could be shared. We feel that bringing everyone together from all over the world, East and West, here in Berlin and Jena makes perfect sense. We would like to celebrate and, of course, learn together. We are indeed united under the sky. Jena is the birthplace of our profession and is also home to scholars and scientists. Students come from all over the world to study at the university and colleges in Jena, specializing in applied sciences. Jena is very much a city with small-town charm. You will find regular markets in the squares for produce and handmade goods, as well as excellent gastronomy throughout the city. The climate in Jena is temperate with a humid and warm summer. June is the month with the most precipitation. However, the sun is out often, and temperatures overnight can be as low as 12 degrees Celsius, or 53.6 degrees Fahrenheit, and as high as 23 degrees Celsius or 73.4 degrees Fahrenheit during the day. Jena has many attractions to explore. If you're hoping to spend some time in nature, there are mountain hiking trails that surround the city and historic sites just outside the city too. For those who prefer staying in town, there are public thematic city tours, several museums and historic buildings that can be visited, such as the German Optics Museum. The Zeiss Planetarium Jena is the world's oldest and longest-serving large planetarium, opening its doors to the public on July 18, 1926. The 23-meter dome, with 260 seats, boasts the beautiful skies of both its optomechanical projector and its beautiful new full-dome system. When not enjoying programs in the dome, guests can enjoy visiting with each other in the Bauersfeld restaurant and beer garden. The Planetarium Theater is fully equipped with modern planetarium and audiovisual technology. All other supporting rooms at the planetarium are perfect for hosting conferences and have all modern AV equipment as well. The pre-conference activities take place from June 12th through 16th and begin in Jena. The festivities start with the famous Full Dome Festival, held special in 2024 for IPS attendees. The festival begins with a tour of where it all began, the Zeiss factory. Participants will see firsthand what goes into creating the technology we use every day in our domes, and also how our field got started. A special one-day Immersa workshop will be held on June 15th. Where better to hold this workshop than the home of the Full Dome Festival? Here attendees will immerse themselves, no pun intended, in the world of Full Dome and explore new and best practices. The day will end with a combined Full Dome Festival Immersa Gala dinner and awards ceremony for the winning festival entries. Berlin is a city dedicated to science, culture, and education. The startup tech scene has really boomed, and many prestigious and world-renowned scientific institutions are in Berlin. This includes the Robert Koch Institute, Humboldt University, the Max Planck Institute, and the European Institute of Innovation and Technology, just to name a few. Berlin is also home to the German Aerospace Center, which partners regularly with the Stiftung Planetarium Berlin. Berlin has much to offer when it comes to spare time. Of course, there are major tourist sites like the TV Tower, Brandenburg Gate, and East Side Gallery, but it is also easy to find points of interest for informal learning too. The city boasts around 200 museums, ranging from traditional history and art museums to zoos and science museums to pop culture museums. It is impossible to talk about Berlin and not point out the endless performing arts opportunities too. Berlin is home to 4 opera houses, a symphony, and many theaters. Berlin lies at 52.6 degrees northern latitude, which means in June, the days are quite long. You can enjoy about 17 hours of sunlight per day. Temperatures are typically around 17 degrees Celsius or 62.6 degrees Fahrenheit in the early morning and at night, while during the day it can reach at least 22 degrees Celsius or 71.6 degrees Fahrenheit. The Stiftung Planetarium Berlin, or the Berlin Planetarium Foundation, was established on July 1, 2016, and unites the 3 astronomical facilities of Berlin for the first time in the history of the city. Originally opening in 1987, the Zeiss Großplanetarium, or the Zeiss Large Planetarium, houses a planetarium with 307 seats under a 23-meter dome, and a cinema with 160 seats. Reopening in 2016 after 2 years of modernization, it is a planetarian's dream. The planetarium boasts a Zeiss Universarium Model 9 LED optomechanical star projector, sky control, power dome, Uniview, Evans and Sutherland Digistar, a 3D sound system, Chromacove cove lighting, and of course, lasers and foggers. The planetarium no longer shows only astronomical programs, but brings visitors closer to the diversity of all natural sciences. The Planetarium am Insulaner, with its magnificent artificial starry sky, opened in 1965. Visitors can experience fascinating astronomical live lectures, radio plays, music shows, and children's programs in the 20-meter dome. When the weather's clear, several large telescopes are available for observation at the nearby Wilhelm Foerster Observatory. The site will soon be closing temporarily for renovations. It will reopen prior to 2024 with the most modern technology available and the best education center in Europe. The Achenhold Observatory is the oldest and largest public observatory in Germany. Since opening in 1896, visitors have observed the sky with the longest moving refracting telescope in the world. In addition to the Great Refractor, the historical Einstein Hall, where Albert Einstein presented the theory of relativity, the 8-Meter-size Kleinplanetarium, or small planetarium, a huge iron meteorite, and a museum of celestial science are among the attractions of the observatory. The observatory will also be renovated prior to 2024, and the Zeiss Kleinplanetarium will be upgraded to the latest technology. Since the Stiftung Planetarium Berlin has 3 campuses, we have decided it is also important to have a centrally located conference center be the home base. The central location of the conference is planned to be at the Estrel Berlin Congress Center and Hotel. The Estrel Congress Center is Berlin's top event location and is Germany's largest and foremost hotel, situated perfectly between all 3 of the Stiftung Planetarium Berlin sites. Connected to the S-Bahn, it is an easy train ride to any of the other conference locations in the city. It also has views of the water with walking paths, a dock for boat tours, a modern gym, a spa and sauna, and several different restaurants and bars that can meet the demands of any foodie. All rooms of the conference center are equipped with internet, power, modern presentation and AV equipment, and air conditioning. The sponsor hall, or trade show, has a 3-story high ceiling and a loading dock, making setup and teardown a breeze. Sponsor setup will begin on Saturday, June 15th. On June 16th, a 1-day LIPS, or Live Interactive Planetarium Symposium workshop, will be held at the newly renovated Education Center of the Stiftung Planetarium Berlin, the Planetarium am Insulaner. Here, participants will dive deep into presenting live planetarium shows, learning about best practices, and perhaps even creating new best practices. The day will end with the participants arriving at the Estrel Berlin for the IPS 2024 conference opening ceremony and activities. Let's get an overview of the week of the conference. The conference will begin on the evening of Sunday, June 16th. New members are invited to attend a short orientation meeting and mentor introductions will be made. As the orientation meeting ends, the opening ceremonies and welcome reception begin, followed by the first keynote speaker and a preliminary visit to the sponsor hall. Monday's schedule includes the second keynote speaker and time in the sponsor hall. In the afternoon, the group will visit one of the sites of the Stiftung Planetarium Berlin for paper talks and sponsor sessions, plus optional tours of the facilities, and a special viewing of the Full Dome Festival winning entries. Tuesday begins with paper sessions, sponsor sessions, and sponsor hall time. The afternoon is dedicated to mid-conference tours that take participants to really get to know Berlin. In the evening, the group will meet up at the Aschenhold Observatory for the group photo, tours of the museum and historic observatory, and a Grillfest Biergarten evening where networking and camaraderie are highly encouraged. Wednesday is full of paper sessions, workshops, poster papers, working and special interest groups, the IPS business meeting, and a very important keynote speaker on diversity and inclusion in our field. Poster papers can be viewed all week, but Wednesday has dedicated time for the posters and ends with a cocktail party in the sponsor hall for networking and checking out the sponsor hall one last time. The last day begins with the final keynote speaker and brunch, followed by a visit to the last of the Stiftung Planetarium Berlin sites for sponsor demos, paper sessions, and tours. The conference ends with a gala dinner at Wasserwerk. The old public waterworks facility, turned into a chic Berlin event location, is the perfect place to close out the week with several meal options, complimentary wine, beer, and soft drink service, and a DJ to provide music for dancing and socializing. The teams in Berlin and Jena understand that IPS conferences can be a major financial undertaking for institutions and planetarians, and we've tried to make the conference as affordable as possible for everyone. We are planning to keep member registration costs as low as we possibly can. For the first time in at least recent IPS history, we are offering a special student price too. We are also planning to have, for the first time, a new institution level for members of brand new to IPS institutions. Finally, we are also offering at least 10 stipends for those who need financial aid. All registration levels include planned meals and beverages. What conference is complete without a post-conference tour or two? The Early Astronomy and Planetarium Experience Tour visits Halle, Nebra, Goseck, and Jena, Germany, to explore historic astronomical and planetarium sites. The Astronomy and Modern Times Tour takes participants to explore the beautiful cities of Hamburg and Potsdam, Germany, and their astronomical sites and planetariums. All meals, lodging, and transportation are included in the costs for both trips. Germany has been working for years to make historic and new facilities barrier-free, or accessible for the differently abled. Visitors will find that all public transportation and almost all attractions are mostly, if not completely, barrier-free. All conference locations are 100% barrier-free or are being renovated prior to 2024. Options are being researched for the historic buildings to make them completely barrier-free too. All conference sites will have a quiet area available for attendees who may need a low-stimulus area. Hearing assistance devices are available for conference attendees if needed. Sighted guides can be made available upon request. We will always have delicious, full meal options available for everyone, no matter what specific dietary needs you may have. Small snacks will also be available during breaks and at any time for anyone who may need to balance blood sugar levels. Nobody will go hungry during IPS 2024 in Berlin and Jena. Water, coffee, tea, soda, and juice will always be available for attendees to prevent dehydration. To facilitate this and promote sustainability, all attendees will be receiving their own reusable travel water bottles and coffee tumblers. After the success of the IPS 2020 virtual conference, it is clear that even when we are able to meet in person again, that this option must remain available to IPS members. We know not everyone can attend the conference in person, so the IPS 2024 conference will have a free live stream for members. Attending your first planetarium conference, or even just your first IPS, can be overwhelming. During registration, new delegates can request to be a mentee, and veteran members can offer to be a mentor. Before the conference, the two can exchange contact information and get to know each other a little too, so that there are always friendly faces waiting for everyone when they arrive at the conference. Ich verstehe nur Bahnhof. Even if you don't speak German, you'll be able to navigate easily. You'll find that in all the major cities in Germany, especially in trains, train stations, airports, and museums, that you do not need to know German to have an extremely enjoyable visit. In Berlin, almost everything is in at least German and English, and almost everyone speaks at least English too. In Jena, a large number of things are in German and English, and most people will speak at least some English. Furthermore, during registration, attendees can submit the language they speak. The attendees will be able to see who speaks what languages and meet up at the conference to help support one another and network comfortably. We know being immersed in another language can be unnerving, so during the conference there will always be Stiftung Planetarium Berlin and Zeiss Planetarium Jena team members to help with any language concerns. They will also help when traveling between sites to ensure that everyone can find their way. The goal of the teams in Berlin and Jena is for the IPS 2024 conference to be as accessible as possible for everyone. If anyone has questions, concerns, or needs that they feel were not addressed, please know that we are happy to discuss them with you and find a solution. Everyone has the right to attend the IPS conference and feel welcome and comfortable in the environment. Nobody should feel bullied, harassed, retaliated against, marginalized, or excluded. This is extremely important to the teams in Berlin and Jena. We want everyone to feel welcome, respected, included, and safe. We take the IPS commitment to the Code of Conduct seriously. Therefore, as with previous IPS conferences, delegates will be required at registration to sign a statement guaranteeing that they have read and will comply with the IPS Code of Conduct. Germany is a very safe country for everyone to visit and ranked 16th out of 163 countries on the Global Peace Index. Germany's crime rate is at its lowest since reunification in 1990. The German Constitution lays out the country's anti-discrimination stance, and the Federal Anti-Discrimination Agency oversees this for the country under the General Equal Treatment Act. The city-state of Berlin even has its own anti-discrimination law, And the city has its own conference code of conduct, too, which will be used to support the IPS code of conduct. The per capita crime rate in Berlin has been steadily decreasing with each year. No matter who you are, you can feel confident and safe walking around and using public transportation in Berlin. The city's unique history makes it the perfect place for everyone. The city enjoys being free, open, eclectic, and most of all united, with many different and diverse groups interacting in harmony. Berlin is also home to a very large and vibrant LGBTQIA+ community and has a history of a strong support system from the city. Jena holds the rights of its citizens and visitors with high regard. The city administration ensures equality for all those in Jena and is a strong supporter of the LGBTQIA+ community. A city known for its industry and as a center of learning, Jena is definitely a place where the participants of IPS 2024 can feel most welcome and comfortable on their own or with the group at day or night. Our teams know how important your family is, and that sometimes receiving professional development is only possible if your children can join you. So you'll find that the conference is quite child-friendly. Mothers should never have to feel torn between their career and their baby. Nursing is always allowed, no matter the location, and lactation rooms will also be available. Children are always welcome to join their parents in sessions as long as they're not being disruptive, and they'll receive a name tag as a special conference attendee if desired. For the first time in IPS history, children ages 3 through 12 can be enrolled in the Space Explorers Day Camp, which will take place at the Estrella Conference Center. Registration costs include the morning and afternoon snacks, lunches, dinner, and all costs of materials and childcare. Children will explore a different theme every day, work to create a project together, and spend time in the intense mobile science theater. Space explorers will be grouped with like ages and by language while receiving instruction, but are encouraged to work, eat meals, and have fun together, just like astronauts aboard the ISS. Germany, as a member state of the Schengen area, permits the nationals of many countries to enter the European Union Schengen area without a visa. For anyone who is required to obtain a short-stay visa, or with any other travel questions, both the Stiftung Planetarium Berlin and Zeiss Planetarium Jena are happy to help and provide any other documents an IPS member might need to attend. It is extremely easy to get to both Berlin and Jena. You just have to decide how you want to get there. Berlin is opening its new large airport by the end of 2020. The airport is well connected to the city with public transportation and highways for those who prefer to drive. The airports serve all major airlines and most smaller ones too. From almost any major city in the world, you can arrive in Berlin by plane with just one layover or less. To fly to Jena, you can fly to the Leipzig or Halle airports. From there, it's a quick train or car ride to Jena. If you want a greener option to get to Berlin and Jena, we recommend the Deutsche Bahn high-speed train system. You can easily connect from other countries and help protect the environment too. We are also working on special options for the conference attendees traveling with Deutsche Bahn between Berlin and Jena. The world-famous German highway system, or Autobahn, is an option for those wanting to rent a car and drive, and Berlin and Jena are both very well connected to the major highways. When it comes to getting around in Jena, the city is very walkable, and there is extremely affordable public transportation and taxis. Getting around in Berlin is very easy thanks to the ample public transportation system, taxis, Uber, rentable bikes, scooters, and car share options. To make travel in Berlin even easier and greener, all the participants will receive a week pass for the public transportation system in Berlin upon check-in. In Berlin, the official conference hotel is the Estrella Berlin. This 4-star hotel is attached to the conference center and offers single rooms with breakfast for €165 per night and doubles with breakfast for €195 per night. In both Jena and Berlin, hotels range on average from €65 to €200 per night, including breakfast. Airbnb options can usually be found for between 36 and 125 euros located near the conference locations, and hostel rooms can be found starting at 18 to 20 euros per night for shared rooms. We have a lot more information that we would like to share with you. Preliminary conference prices, the full schedule, and information about the trips can all be found starting at the end of September 2020 at our conference bid website, www.planetarium.berlin/IPS2024. You can also contact us at our email, ips2024@planetarium.berlin. The teams in Berlin and Jena truly hope that you will entrust us with hosting the IPS conference in 2024. We know that we can offer something truly special to attendees, both in person and virtually, and cannot wait to share our cities with everyone. We look forward to being united under the sky with everyone once again.